Howdy everyone, this is Grakef. Alright, we're back. Hopefully you've gathered some science and done a few little flights and hopped around and stuff. For our next little bit, these are the items that you're going to want to have unlocked. Specifically, you want to be all the way into electrics to make sure you have the photovoltaic cell, and then into fuel so that you have the external fuel duct, unless you want to do boosters, and that you have the 800 size tank available as well. So, okay, let's go ahead and leave the facility. Currently have 231 funds. If you need more funds to get going here, generally speaking, I'm not seeing it, which is interesting. There is generally some tourist ones. These ones are also good. Just recover general science. That'll get you another 18,000. So you can do those. Position a satellite. Looking specifically for the tourist ones. I'm not seeing one. Ferry two tourists to their destination back. So these particular ones are looking for orbit. If you do these before you go to orbit, you get the suborbit ones, and the suborbit ones are super easy. Orbit ones aren't bad. It's just the payouts kind of meh compared to the suborbit ones, because you get almost the exact same payout. So if you need to get some funds, do a couple of these. We want to go ahead and explore the moon. Notice that for this particular mission, it is a flyby only for the moon. You do not need to land, so make sure that you aren't landing. So we're going to go ahead and accept contract. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about the administration building. When you're getting into starting to go to the moon, it is helpful to look at a strategy here. Generally speaking, there's going to be one that exchanges one for funds, one that exchanges for science, and one that exchanges for reputation. So I like to do the one that gives us science for each reputation. That one is pretty easy, the unpaid research program. But if you'd rather exchange funds for science, there is this one available. Also in the science category, there is a science exchange for funds. Typically funds aren't really all that big of a deal. So I wouldn't use that one very much. Over here, and each one of these is going to be finances, science, public relations, and then finally you have operations. Operations sets how you're going to basically run your program. So the aggressive negotiations that makes launch costs cheaper, as well as facility repairs, but it comes at the cost of reputation. So reputation deals with how good of contracts you're going to get, so I wouldn't mess with reputation too much, and it's kind of hard to get reputation. So recovery transponder fitting helps with recovery. And so, yeah, basically you can spend 94,000 and then you'll be able to get more later on. What I currently want to do is I want to take some of my reputation and gain more science. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. Yeah, and so I spent 35 of my reputation, and now we'll be getting more science. I also want to go ahead and upgrade our astronaut complex. This way we can plant flags and we can do EVAs. So that'll allow us to gather more science while we're up in space, because now we can do EVAs. Okay. So with that said, it's time to go to the vehicle assembly building and let's build us a rocket that will make it to the moon. All right, so we just need to build a vehicle now with enough delta V. What I'm currently working on here is I'm going to set the probe on top, so that way we have SAS, and just adding science, getting everything situated in there. Want to make sure that we've got ample amount of science. Moon flybys are worth a lot. Adding some batteries. Solar panels, we get a little crazy with the solar panels, but like, oh yeah, more solar, more better. I only need 4. it was just way too much, so I get that fixed. And that completes out the first stage right there. So now we need to go ahead and build our second stage, which will be what we use for finalizing our orbit around Kerbin and for getting out to the moon and back. So there we go. Now we got our mid stage, upper atmosphere stage is all built, and just gonna looking at some options here. Basically, you can do this with just the 18-ton pad. I was fiddling with some stuff trying to see if I wanted to do that. Ultimately, I decided no, boosters aren't the way to go. Let's go ahead and upgrade the pad, because you end up with so little weight left over when you do it that way. And it just ended up not being worth it. You end up in this little in between between the flea and the hammer as far as the weight you can add. So okay, yep, bought the launch pad upgrade. Now I'm gonna do a spaghetti staging here. Eyes are bigger than my mouth here. I try and add way too much boosters. I don't even need close to this. I ended up with an extra 1,000 delta V, so this is way overkill. And we even did some extra stuff here in a little bit that you'll see. So don't need to build quite this big of a rocket, but hey, you know, no kill like overkill, right? May have needed that. Make a little oops here. I'm like, oh, I need parts, and I take out the Science Junior there, and that's gonna kind of haunt me. Because I forgot to put it back, and I had the parts count to do that. Other thing I'm gonna miss is I forgot to put fins on, so I did some testing and didn't have fins, so we'll go ahead and add those here. And still ended up being really tippy, but it made enough of a difference that I was able to get it up to the orbit, so that's all that matters. Trying to let it, oh, come on, don't tip over. It really wants to tip over. I'm trying to let gravity turn naturally, and it really wants to tip over. How we doing? Yeah, doing really good there. Okay. Whoa, come on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Not that aggressively. Okay, just want to check on this wobbly goodness. I should have put in more reaction wheels. But it all takes power and stuff, so. Right, get up to 70,000. Gonna give us a little bit of leeway here, but go 75, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. All right. We get about 900 delta V left to do our circular burn, and then we gotta go spend just a little bit more money. I forgot we need one more item. You can do it without it, but it makes it really difficult. Okay. Want to get about 15 seconds or so from our Apple apps. All right, there we go. A little upside, but not bad at all. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the tracking station. Nope, I want to go to the Space Center. We need to upgrade the tracking. Oh gosh, right click. We need to upgrade the tracking center. Nope. We need to flight planning. We need to update mission control. So now we should be able to, yeah, because this is a different one. Yep. Okay, I think we've got all the little upgrades. Back out to the tracking station. We're gonna go do the moon flyby. We're gonna fly that particular one. And now we have flight planning. We can go to the map. We want the moon to be about 90 degrees. And then we're going to add a maneuver. We're going to go prograde. And there we go. So we got an encounter. That is the moon. So in a little bit here, we'll be able to get there. But we want to create this to be, there we go, whoop, too much. Not quite enough. I need that to stay visible. Okay. So now we're going to adjust this forward and backwards, keeping that encounter so that our periaps okay, right there. A little less burn. Nope, we need more burn. Okay, there we go. Just trying to, so we can have a little less burn now. No, oh. I'm just fiddling with it right now. Okay, so we need 872 delta V. So we will need to use a little bit from our carrier stage, but we'll have ample amounts. We do now have a, come over here, We have a free return. Basically, we're going to fly by really high. And if anything goes wrong, we will return back to Kermit. With that said, I probably, when we get out here, will adjust our trajectory so that we can orbit really high up, and then I will come back. So we'll do a little orbit around it, fly back. Okay, so our node, in about 37 seconds, we're going to need to do our burn. And you want to split this time. So start your burn at, since 37 seconds, roughly around negative 20 seconds from the node. And yeah, we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and, before I do that, I want to do a few sciencey things and get everything reset before we do that. Log pressure, we're going to go ahead and keep that experiment. Want to, nope, we don't need to do temperature. We're going to observe. We'll keep that experiment. And, oh, okay, well, I'm living with it. When you do yours, don't forget the Science Junior. I took it off when I did the service bay, didn't I? Well, all right. But hey, we can EVA. So yay, Bob gets to be the first person outside the cockpit in space. Pretty sure we've already done a crew report. Yep, we have. All right, so that's going to give us a little chunk of science there. I'm going to think there's a spot that'll show you how much science you have on board. I was going to show you all that. I mean, you can add it up. We got 12, 8, which is 20, and then 22.3. I thought... And I'm probably thinking of Kerbalism. I play a lot with in modded Kerbal, if you watch some of my other videos. So, but I'll get, okay, we're gonna fast forward here to about a minute before our burn. Whoop, 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 that was a little quick, Okay. Get turned around. Get our maneuver node. Okay. Sometimes you're going to have issues controlling your vessel. Remember that physics stops in space if you do time acceleration, so you can use that kind of as a braking system too. All right, we're performing our burn, and come on, stage. Go. Not sure why it was giving me the fits here. We're gonna end up a little wampus because of our the difference in our burn ratio. So it won't be as efficient as it could be. Okay, just tuning that in. Okay, cool. There we go. All right, we're coming back. All right, well, let's go ahead and jog on out to the moon. When you get about halfway out, and I don't even know if it's halfway out, there's another science area, if I remember correctly. And so you can go ahead and collect some science right here. Yeah, high space. So we'll keep that experiment. We'll log this experiment. We'll observe the goo. Keep that experiment. We'll go ahead and do a crew report. We will keep... how's our batteries doing? We can actually transmit that and get 100% of our science. Yep, we'll go ahead and transmit that one. Nope, because I forgot to put on an antenna that would allow us to do that. And we'll do an EVA. And keep that experiment. Go ahead and grab them all. Take data. Take data. Collect data. Restore. And take data and store experiments. All right. There we go. So now we just need to get over to the moon so we can get some more science. Be careful getting carried away. You can use the warp 2 nodes right here. Those work pretty well. Sometimes they're a little slow for my taste. Okay. So now we have encountered the moon, so we can do more science. All the science again. Crew reports. Crew report from high above the moon. You look at the surface of the moon and try to find a good landing space. The inside of the crater might be the best option. Okay, cool. Keep that in mind when we go ahead and attempt a landing. Gonna go ahead and log the temperature. Keep that experiment. And we will log our pressure data. Keep that experiment. Observe the goo. And keep that experiment. Bob will go on another EVA, get some more science there, as well as collect everything. And take the data, store that data, so we get that crew report, and we keep using that. Cancel, wrong button. Take, collect, restore. All right. I do want to go ahead and we've got plenty of delta V. So I'm going to set up a maneuver node right here. And that we're going to go ahead and slow down just enough to put us in orbit. And I say that and I'm going to change my mind. We're going to come in here and we're going to get a nice little low flyby. And then I'm going to add a maneuver node here, which we're going to accelerate. And okay, gotta make sure I get the time correct. Nope. It's a little fiddling here. All right, there we go. So now we'll come around. We'll grab some low science. I'm going to go even a little lower than that. Oops, wrong way. Slow it down. Even further, let's get right in there. Not that low. Not that low. Not that crazy. There we go. We should still be good. I think you can get down to about 5 kilometers on the moon. Yeah, looks like we're going to be okay right there. 10 kilometers. I think it's like 30 something is the low science. Okay. So now we need to just, again, fast forward here. $15, $14, $12, $10, $9, $8, $7, $6, $5, $4, $3, $2, $1. Okay, there we go. Let's get situated around. We're going to have a 19-second burn, so we want to burn on both sides of our... so when this says 10 seconds, we'll start a burn. So it looks like everything is orientated and ready to go. 13, 11, 10. There we go. So now we are burning retrograde. We are slowing ourselves down. And in doing so, we're going to get caught in the moon's gravity, which will allow us to stop and do a little bit more science. It's still a little high for my tastes. I'm trying to stay on this little blue. There we go. That'd be close enough. Yep. All right. Now that we've done that, I want to double check. Yep. We adjusted some stuff over there, so this node is not where we would like it. So we'll just tune it in a little bit. Okay, right. Right there. And then we need to probably accelerate a little bit more. Okay, something about like that. All right, and so that we need 300 meters per second, and we've got 17, almost 1800 meters per second, so we are good. All right, I don't think we can get any more. I think it's still going to be high above. Yep, high space over the moon, so we do not need that at this time. So I'm going to change back to our map view. I'm going to accelerate to our periaps. And at this time, I think we should be... No, we're still high above. So keep coming down. You can find all of these numbers on the wiki itself as well. So if you're curious, okay, so there we go, space near moon, near the moon. Keep that experiment. Go ahead and space near the moon as well. Keep that experiment. Do a crew report. And space near the moon. Keep that experiment. And observe space near the moon. Keeping those experiments. EVA. Before I forget, take the data, store the experiments, do an AVA report. So this one says we're above the moon highlands. So that one is biome specific. If we wanted to try and get another one, we could try that. We're going to keep the experiment for now, though, and we're going to take our data, take data, collect data, and restore. Okay. All right. I'm going to see. I'm going to go ahead and store my current experiments. See if maybe we can't get a different one. Yep, Midlands. There we go. Keep the experiment. Store the experiment. We'll try for one more. I don't think we're gonna fly over a crater. So I don't think we're gonna get lowlands or a crater. Maybe what do we got coming up here? Oh yeah, we are gonna fly over a crater right here. All right. I will board. Sometimes you can get away with it. Sometimes you can't. It's up to you whether you want to risk it or not. You can leave Bob or your crewman out on the outside sometimes, and they'll be okay. All right, EVA report. Yep, there we go. Keep experiment. I don't think any of these others are going to change. No, same as we got before. All right. So we got ourselves a huge chunk of science at this moment. Yeah. No, it just is not going to show us. But we did complete some world first milestones. We performed a spacewalk. We reached max speed. We flew by the moon. We escaped the gravitational influence of Kerbin. We entered the orbit of the moon, which was an extra, and we performed a spacewalk by the moon. So, and we were able to do all the things for Explore the Moon. So we'll go ahead and close that out and get ready for our burn to return home. Go ahead and it's probably going to get prograde, so we'll line up on prograde here and fast forward. Not getting too carried away. Probably could have got a couple more EVA reports, to be honest. It depends on how much you want to min-max. There's mods to help you with that as well. See if I can get one more. Nope, high over the moon. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Board. Okay. Got about 6 minutes. Coming up on that. There we go. Short little 15-second burn. Get lined up and ready to go, and then I'm going to accelerate a little bit more, get closer to it. To our burn time. 30 seconds. There we go. 15 seconds. So we're going to burn 8 seconds. Again, you just, close to. It doesn't have to be exact. It's not working very well there. Oop. Okay. I think I overdid it. Yeah, we're definitely coming home there. I don't want to come home that aggressively, so I'm going to find my periaps and just slow down just a little bit. I got the fuel. All right. There we go. I also didn't bring a heat shield, so we're going to have to slow down a little bit more. Be careful coming in really quick on time acceleration as you're coming up to Kerbin. I have flown through being under time acceleration, and then you end up going back out. It's not the end of the world unless you're playing with mods that have food and other things like radiation. That tends to cause some problems and headaches. All right, we're back in the purple atmosphere. I'm going to go ahead and line up on prograde, and I'm going to use the rest of this fuel to slow us down. Mostly doing this because I didn't bring a heat shield. All right, there we go. We are sufficiently slowed down, so it'll be very similar to a suborbital return or an orbit return. Well, other than capsules wanting to be a little twitchy on 4x time acceleration. Okay, and there we go. That was our successful flight to the flyby of the moon. A little bit longer one for sure. A lot of stuff to do, and we got tons of science. So see how this edits out. It currently is almost 50 minutes. So hopefully it does not end up that long. I hope it's only like 30 minutes. But yeah, remember, love is love. Stay safe, everyone, and put in the comments how much science do you think I brought back. You'll find out in the next episode. Bye-bye.